Welcome to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar app. Here's your host, Casey Bubba and Scott Bogman.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Pre-Snap Podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on the old Twitter there, at LineStar app and at LineStar NFL. And most importantly, download the app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Everything you need in the palm of your hands to win your NFL DFS lineups. You can find myself on Twitter at BDentric, and my co-host, as always, no, he's not chopping onions. It was just a big night for him. On Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how we doing?
I'm doing great, man. You know, obviously the Steelers played on Monday Night Football. We record immediately after Monday Night Football. I got to see Big Ben walk off the Cleveland Browns, and I got to see Baker Mayfield get smashed into. I feel like a little kid, like his first trip to Disney World. I got to go on the Pirates of the Caribbean, and we went to Tomorrowland. You know, like all the stuff I got to see here. But yeah, it was a fun night, and it was awesome to see Ben go out of Pittsburgh with a win.
Yeah, the good little tribute at the end. So it was good to see. Like I was telling Bogman before the show, is you don't have to be a Steelers fan to appreciate that. That was just cool stuff to watch. 18 years, as Bogman told me earlier, 18 years, like Ben said in his interview, like over half his life he's been playing in Pittsburgh. So that's
and we're almost the same age. I think he's like 8 or 9 months older than me. So it's like, you know, that whole arc of him, you know, grew with me. So now that I'm almost 40. So
well, it's a new era coming your way, the Mason Rudolph era or someone else. Ooh. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about that in the
more tears for that era for sure. So
exactly. But week 17 of the books, lots of teams clinched. So that'll be fun scenario talking later this week on who cares, who doesn't care. Like I've already seen that if the Colts lose on Sunday, that the Sunday night game has zero meaning at all, which is a great game to have flexed in there. Awesome game. That's the game you want on the same time as the Colts game, you idiots. Like make them play the game. But
there was a bunch of weird stuff. I know one of them was like if the Chargers and Raiders might just, you know,
kneel on the ball.
Yeah, sit on the ball 15 times each.
Because it doesn't matter. Like
over, right?
It's gonna be Marcus Mariota versus whoever the backup is for the Chargers.
But it might be that might be a win and get in scenario because the Chargers are in now.
If the Colts win, if the Colts lose, they both automatically get in.
Right, but if that's not true.
That's what the scenario is this morning. Yes,
incorrect. Because
someone typed it out wrong.
Because the Steelers also need the Jaguars to win, the Jaguars to win and the Colts to lose to get in, and I don't think they would go in. I don't know. You know what? It's all crazy at this point. I don't think that's right, but it might be.
As the week goes on, we'll have more clarity on that. Right now, we have Big Ben's tears in our eyes. So
that's right.
No, actually, I just have an allergy, infected eye. Where Bogman is just.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to be the one that looked like he was, getting misty over here. But yeah,
I told Bogman, if you guys are watching the LineStar YouTube channel, I told him I almost wore sunglasses like Stevie Wonder to record, but I left it alone. So we will move on from there. But let's recap the wild week 17. Every week it's something different in this wonderful game we call football. But let's have some fun with this one and go through the week that was. We had no Thursday, we had no Saturday, but this week we have Saturday. It's like the NFL is just so much fun. But this past week, Eagles and the Washington football team, besides Washington Stadium falling apart and Jalen Hurts saving people's lives, the Eagles went 20-16 and clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah, you know, it was I guess it wasn't that surprising. I was a little surprised to see Washington kind of lay down. But I mean, you know, Philly did do all the scoring in the second half, but I keep continuing to wonder what they're going to do with Jalen Hurts next year. I know it doesn't matter at this point, but I think you have to keep him because you made the playoffs with him, right? So they were trying to hand this team over to Gardner Minshew at one point this year, I feel like, and
would have made sense.
I know it wouldn't have, but I don't know. That continues to weird me out. The fact that they don't like him, but they do keep winning with him. And Washington is just kind of they are a sinking ship. So, I don't know what the hell the Eagles are going to do for running back this week because everybody's on the COVID list. Hopefully they'll all clear ahead of the game here. But
I think most of them are eligible to come back.
They should be because it's 5 days now. They're not going to get in practice this week. but not that matters. Like you said, they already clinched.
Yeah. So it could be it could finally be a week for our boy to run the ball with Scott and Howard out of the way, Sanders out of the way. It could finally be Kenny Gainwell season.
Yeah, let's get him.
We'll see what happens. But Rams Ravens, this was a disappointing game. This had a shootout written all over it. Huntley didn't play bad. He just didn't have to do much. His values when he has to come from behind. But the Rams pull it off 20-19. A late Beckham touchdown gets the job done. Kupp got in there in the second half. But overall, Stafford, man, just does not look good right now.
He looks terrible. Like, we had earlier this year, obviously, talked about him as a potential MVP candidate. And I don't know what is going on with him, but he's having, he fumbled once and he threw 2 picks, and they were ugly picks. So he's turned into Baker Mayfield down the stretch here. I'm just kidding. He can complete a pass. But, it's not, and I don't know if you saw this, but they said Cooper Kupp went over and told McVay something that was going on, and they switched whatever it was the next play, and Van Jefferson scored his touchdown. So
35-yarder,
yeah, Cooper Kupp showing off those future head coach acumen right there.
My question is, what happened to the 12 offensive guys up top that couldn't see that stuff?
Maybe it's you know what, I'm gonna say it was a field level thing. Had to be on the field for it.
If I'm McVay, I'm having a hell of a conversation on that flight home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but look, Baltimore should have won this game. If Baltimore is even close to healthy, they smoke the Rams in this game. So the Rams are winning, but I feel like they're backing into the playoffs because they can be dangerous, but it just doesn't feel like they are right now.
Yeah. Speaking of backing into the playoffs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a lot of these big teams are. But before we get to that, they won 28-24, come from behind, late W. The Jets almost shocked the world here. But we go from basically praising the career of one Steeler to a former Steeler that's just gone off the map. And the reason I want to say this first is all the jokes we will make and have been made and probably will make in the future, we actually want him to get healthy, Antonio Brown, because there's real mental issues with him. But I think laughter is the best medicine sometimes too. So you can have some fun with it. So I just want to clarify that because that's been a cesspool and a big topic out there right now. But we know what happened. The AB thing, meme for days. It's one of the craziest videos I've ever witnessed in my 38 years of life in a football game. But the Bucs pull it out 28-24 in just a bananas football game.
Yeah, it was, the whole AB thing is, and I tweeted out kind of my thoughts on it. And what I said was, Antonio Brown has not been the same since that cheap shot that Vontaze Burfict gave him in the playoff game, whatever that was, 5-6 years back. So I think we are seeing some symptoms of CTE act right now. I think that's what we're getting out of Antonio Brown. So like you said, I hope he gets the help he needs. And but I think a lot of this was in there before that headshot,
100%.
But and I like the people were like, well, I think it was just kept under wraps, and I'm sure some of it was, but you can't keep anything under wraps these days, right? If you do something wrong, it's going to come out. Like, we know that. Ask Robert Kraft. Guy's a millionaire, billionaire, and you do something wrong, it's going to get 2 people. So I just don't think that you could keep stuff under wraps that long. So I do think it's brain stuff. But getting back to this game, I mean, the Bucs are backing in, but the Jets might be getting a little bit better.
We've said that lately. Wilson's been actually competent of late.
Yeah, this was probably his best game. 19 of 34, 234 yards, a touchdown, no picks. That was huge for him. Didn't fumble the ball either, so no turnovers for Zach Wilson. So that's, we're taking a step in the right direction. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's good, but they fought against the Bucs. They made it hard for them to win this game. They definitely didn't beat the spread here. So, but Brady shows up again, 410 yards. He doesn't care. I'll throw it to Gronk. I'll throw it to some dude named Cyril Grayson. I'll throw it to Brashad Perriman, the ghost of Brashad Perriman. I'll throw it to 60% of Mike Evans out there. He doesn't care. He'll get it done. So, Tom Brady continues to win games in whatever means necessary.
Yep, and Braxton Barrios, talked about him last week.
Man, that was a good call by you. Yeah,
continues to get it done, man. He's cheap.
12 targets.
Yeah, and he even gets rushing attempts around the goal line. It's bizarre.
You ran one in, yeah.
He was very chalky this last week, so I'm curious of what he'll be this next week. But definitely something we'll talk about later on. But he's a focal point in this offense right now, which is I don't know if it's a positive for him or a negative for the Jets. All right, Titans win 34-3 against the Dolphins. Next game.
We're gonna do it, are we?
Yeah, we have to. It's just it was coming. This has been coming, and I guess
I don't think we knew it was going to be that cold.
No, not this bad, but by the way. I guess it feels better. The Titans are the 1 seed. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, they just continue to win strange games. I mean, Miami had nothing on offense in this game. It was really like this was the worst game I think I've seen from Tua. I'm sure there's another statistically worse one where he threw interceptions and stuff, but 18 of 38 for 205 yards and the pick. They didn't have anything rushing. They were okay rushing. I mean, Duke Johnson had a good average, but it was, they're down for 34-3. So, you let them run. Who cares at that point, right? And they did a really good job clamping Waddle.
It was the total Patriots thing. Vrabel probably learned that from Belichick. Take away their top guy. Yeah,
I mean, it's not it's not a singular. I saw someone point this out. Everyone says the same thing about Belichick. Take away the top guy, right? It's not a new thing. But yeah, it's impossible.
Belichick does it better than almost anybody.
Yeah, well, every team wants to take out Jonathan Taylor, but nobody can do it. So but yeah, I mean, Foreman kind of won this game, but really was the Titans defense. So. They're going to be scary if they get Derrick Henry back, and especially if they do get that bye. And all they got to do is beat Houston. So looks like they'll probably get it.
Yeah, they should get the bye. Like you said, Henry started practicing on Monday, like doing slight drills. And they I think on Wednesday they're going to activate him like the Rams did Akers, because you have to have like a 3-week window, which means he'll be available after the bye in the playoffs, which this team got real scary real quick.
Yeah, so the defense is playing. The line particularly is playing fantastic right now. So
it's going to be a fun watch. The Titans were so close last year. I know I said it a lot earlier in the year when I was all team Titans. They might come back. It's going to be interesting. We'll talk much more about them going forward. Patriots dismantled the Jaguars. We said Mack Jones coming out party. That was my best GPP stack of the week. 50-10, and that was with Ramondre Stevenson in garbage time getting 2 touchdowns. Like the Patriots were in complete control, and Trevor Lawrence still does not look good.
Yeah, Christian Wilkerson, I mean, the pride of Southeast Missouri, right? So
I had no idea who he was.
I think he might have played for NC State and then had to transfer out to a JUCO or wherever he came from. So FCS school. But yeah, I mean, they just ran all over the Jags. Jags got nothing right now, which depresses me because Steelers have to have the Jags win to get into the playoffs. But Mack Jones, we talked about it. And like you just said, my thought was, why not give him a confidence game? Boost his confidence before the playoffs here, because they're in the playoffs. And 227 on 22 of 30 and 3 touchdowns. That'll do it. Look, Trevor Lawrence looked better. Didn't look good, but he looked better. Laquan Treadwell continues to be the leading receiver. They need some weapons here. I mean, they got to get some stuff around Lawrence and a new coach. It's going to be a bit in Jacksonville.
Most definitely. You mentioned the Colts needing the dub against the Jags. The Colts, because they lost to the Raiders 23-20. This was a shocker to me. The Raiders are just that team that will not go away, and then they don't show up. It's just a weird team, but somehow they have a chance to go to the postseason still, and they win 23-20 in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of this game, but I mean, Zay Jones, 10 targets, 8 catches, 120 yards. Renfro got in the end zone again. Every time I turned it on, the ball was in Josh Jacobs' hands, and he had 20 touches, but he didn't have like 30 or anything. It wasn't Najee Harris out there, who just passed Jonathan Taylor for most touches in the NFL, which was a little surprising to me. But Darren Waller should be back for the Raiders next week. The Colts, I mean, I guess the thing here is, if you want to beat the Colts, you got to put a lead on them quick. And because so they can't hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor and play defense all the time, you got to let Carson Wentz try to screw it up. And, I don't think Carson Wentz he didn't turn the ball over, but he was 16 of 27 for 148 yards. So Carson Wentz is just not looking very capable right now.
It was a really slow start for the whole offense. Like, they were mainly a second half offense. There was dreadful early on. So I don't know if it was just the rust. Like we say, guys don't need to practice, but maybe they do. I don't know. Like a rep or two might be good.
I mean, they got the accidental touchdown from T.Y. Hilton too, man. Yeah. Like it was, they got a lucky bounce there and they still lost. So
yeah. There was no escalator of sadness on Sunday. I almost texted you, but I left it alone. Bengals win outright 34-31. They just covered. They went outright 34-31 as Burrow and Chase went nuts. Last week was Higgins. This week's Chase. It's crazy. But Mahomes, Kelsey, and company still looked good. I'm not worried about the Chiefs at all, but this Bengals team just clinched the AFC North on Sunday. And they got somewhat like the Burrow swagger is contagious. I love it. I know you hate it. I love it.
I hate it. Yeah. I mean, look, it's really these Bengals are different than the Bengals that I actually despise. Right.
How I feel
still
about the
don't like the
Dodgers.
fans, but you know, these Bengals aren't Vontez Burfict and Marvin Lewis and Pac-Man Jones and all those guys, right? They're a different squad. But I'll tell you what, you know, they say you're only as good as your weakest link, right? Chartavius Ward got torched by Jamar Chase. And I don't even think Ward is, I know he's not good. He's not a Pro Bowl or anything, but I mean, he's better than a lot of corners, or at least has a lot more experience than a lot of corners in the NFL. So to see him just get burned 11 times for 266 yards and 3 touchdowns, because I think he was on him every single time he scored, is just, what are you doing, man? Eventually, you got to double him. Sure, they'll go to Higgins. Let him go to Higgins. This guy's beat you twice already. Don't let him get that third one. So it was Jamar Chase was a one-man wrecking crew, and that pick is, you know, kind of proving me wrong here, because I thought they should have gone with Penei Sewell, an offensive lineman, to keep Burrow upright, especially coming off that knee surgery for Joe Burrow. But, you know, Burrow lobbied for his boy Chase, and that connection is absolutely working.
Yeah, that's why it was a tough pick, because Sewell made so much sense. Like, there's really not a wrong reason to want to take Sewell there. There's something about that connection, man. We've seen it with so many quarterbacks in the day. It's like they got that guy, and he even said it in a post-game interview about, like, what was that play to Chase Reese Mall? Well, I saw his one-on-one, and I called it F it.
Throw it to him. Yep.
Yeah, I kind of, because he just knows the guy. He trusts him. There's so much to be said about that. So that's making it worth it. Now you can go get like an 18th or 19th overall pick and get a lineman this next year, because he actually made the playoffs. So there you go. The battle for the 2 worst football coaches in the NFL, Bears Giants, goes to Matt Nagy. Sorry, Matt Nagy, not Charles Nagy. That's baseball. Matt Nagy, 29-3, as the Bears defense just destroyed Longneck himself.
And Charles Nagy, the Tribe pitcher with the crazy wife.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember him.
That is correct.
Look, you know, they gave Joe Judge the vote of confidence, right?
The always
but now,
confident vote of confidence.
I think they just fired their GM. So I think Gettleman's going to be gone, or they're planning to get rid of him and bring in someone new. I think the new GM is actually going to decide what happens with Joe Judge. And we'll see. I can't imagine keeping him after this, because this wasn't even Justin Fields, dude. This was Andy Dalton going out and slinging it against them. And Mike Glennon got hurt. So, by the way, he was 4 of 11 before. How do you only throw the ball 11 times in this game? What was the time of possession? It was, I just got to see it, 30-29. So it wasn't overwhelming in one direction or the other. So
it was all the short fields because of the turnovers.
Man, yeah. Let's see, 2 picks and 4 fumbles, 2 lost. I didn't realize he had 4 fumbles. I knew he lost.
I picked up the Bears defense this week. It was beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, man, this is disgusting. I mean, Jake Fromm would have done better than that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, this is just, I mean, do you really give Matt Nagy credit for this win, or to
Saquon ran for over 100?
Yeah, he did. You know, I just imagine Saquon with a halfway competent head coach. That's what I want everyone to close your eyes and imagine if you just took Saquon and dropped him in Cincinnati. What would he look like there if you just took him, you dropped him in Kansas City? Miami. Drop him in Miami, wherever. Philly, you know.
You're gonna have so many shares of Joe Judge Saquon Barkley next year, like as a round 2 turn pick.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I tell you what, though, if Joe Judge is still in New York and Saquon is, I will not. So I can't do it.
I'll believe that when we talk about it next year.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I won't. I think I dislike Judge more than I like Barkley, and I didn't think that
says
was
a lot.
I would have said, because I love Barkley. So
I know it says a lot. What else does a lot? Bills 29-15. This was easy. Falcons scored a little bit of late action in this one. Bills had complete control of this game. It was never in question. Singletary, 2 more touchdowns. The dude's been winning you fantasy championships the last 3 or 4 weeks. Like, this dude's been awesome.
So you're
concept,
telling
right?
me
What a concept
that the Bills offense got way better after they started running the ball and with one back. By the way, they ran the ball with backs. What would that be? 43 times in this game. Excuse me. They ran the ball a total of 45 times, but 28 times with backs, 23 times with Singletary. So obviously Josh Allen's going to get his carries in there and had 2 scores. Atlanta, I tell you what, they're at least making some positive strides towards next year. To see Kyle Pitts pick it up is big. To see them play a little better on defense, I guess, is good too. But they're a lot like Jacksonville, not in the sense of their coaching staff is terrible and everything needs to be replaced, but there's not a lot of talent on this team. And when Matt Ryan goes, and that could be this year, who knows, it's going to get real ugly in Atlanta real fast.
Yes, very, very, very ugly. What else was ugly? The Niners 23-7 over the Texans. My Davis Mills love fell very flat on its face this week, so that was fun. Trey Lance first half bad, second half good, because what shocker. I felt like I was watching Tua where they just kind of didn't let him play. And then all of a sudden, like, hey, we have an athletic quarterback, let him do something. And they started doing things. Still looked like a very unpolished player, but got the job done. Elijah Mitchell got the job done as well, back in action. So kind of an easy game for the Niners.
Right. I mean, you saw Trey Lance replace Jimmy G earlier in the year against the Cardinals, and they got stomped. He was not ready. Obviously, playing so much scout team and second team in practice and stuff has prepared him a little bit more. And this was an easy test. Got to give the Texans a lot of credit for playing the right way. Second half of the year, when you could just throw your hands up and give up on the season, they've been testing some teams. They just weren't a match here for the Niners. The defense was way too strong, even with Jimmy G down. So big win for the Niners here. Eli Mitchell looked good coming back too.
Yeah, looked very, very good. Let's hope he can stay healthy. The Niners hope that as well, as they have a big game this week. Broncos, Chargers. We keep saying it every week. It's like, are they going to do it? Are they not going to do it? Well, they did it this week. 34-13. Herbert looked amazing. Mike Williams, a big touchdown coming back off COVID. Keenan Allen got one. Eckler got one. It was like every fantasy piece you wanted had a little taste of the pie for the Chargers.
Yeah, it was real good for them. And, this is, you have to build confidence moving towards the playoffs. You got to win this game to get into the playoffs here, but you got to build yourself a little confidence. And like you said, to see all the guys get involved here and score was fantastic. Drew Lock, man, he looked okay, but obviously left injured. Brett Rippon took over at the end, so we'll see what happens this week. Happy to see Noah Fant get back involved.
Big game.
Dude, can you wait to see Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to Noah Fant and Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy next year?
It's going to be glorious. One of my good friends over here is a Broncos fan. And so I always give him a hard time, but he'll be happy to have me root with him because he's got all those weapons for Rodgers. Is going to be amazing.
I mean, I think either that or Cleveland has to be Rodgers' spot. So
I hope it's Denver if I have to pick between those two.
Me too.
I hope it's Pittsburgh.
It's not going to be Pittsburgh. There's no way
they won't spend the money. This is the problem, right?
And they don't have any money. Yeah. So, but
him with like Deontay and Claypool, dude, like those, like the kind of pieces he likes right there.
Yeah,
like,
but he ain't going to have one Mississippi to throw the ball if Kendrick Green is still the center. So, and we'd have to give up. We'd have to give up picks to get him. So that's just not happening. True. So, but yeah, I mean, look, the Chargers are at least looking good heading into this week 18. So,
yep, looking darn good. Who else looked good? Saints 18-10. It was a very boring game. Looking good might be a overstatement, but they got the job done. The Panthers, Sam Darnold, atrocious, like beyond atrocious. At least they stuck with one quarterback though.
Yeah, 7 sacks for the Saints, and this is, say that 10 times fast, by the way. But this has been the whole point of, I've talked about this on some IDP shows, and I've talked about it here. Once Cam Jordan got going for this team, that defense is on another level right now. So they are playing some great football. 3.5 sacks for Cam Jordan in this game. This was pretty much his game. And, this is how they have to win games without Drew Brees. They have to, and without any of your wide receivers. I mean, Marquez Callaway is one, for God's sake. So got to run and play good defense, and they did it here.
It's terrifying. They have a chance to make the playoffs still, which is
Yeah.
not good. Lions Seahawks, you said it. Seahawks went bonkers. Everybody, Metcalf, Lockett, Rashad Penny looked absolutely amazing. But our boy, Juan St. Brown, still absolutely balling out. 51-29 Seahawks.
Yeah, dude, I had our guy in ITL Mosier hit me up and say, do I want Amon St. Brown or Rashad Penny? And I said, I want St. Brown. So, but there was no wrong answer there.
No,
I mean, Penny
no.
obviously went crazy with the 2 touchdowns and everything. But, you know, this is the reason I said St. Brown is because I thought they're going to give the whole game to Russ, and they kind of did. He had 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
You know,
it seemed like Penny got like kind of the quote unquote garbage time. It felt like
right. I mean, they put up 51. So
Yep.
that, I mean, this is just, the Lions are too hurt right now. You know, they play with effort, and Campbell's done a great job. And
they kept fighting in that game, man. I'll give them that much.
yeah, they put up 29 or whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, and Amon St. Brown is absolutely quarterback proof. So we love that. So you can see the pieces moving forward for this squad, and they're going to be dangerous moving forward.
It's fun too. Like, I'm not comparing St. Brown to Debo, but they're setting up the run play. He had a 29-yard rushing touchdown. Like, they were doing things to get him the ball because he's that kind of playmaker. So
yeah, and that's, you know, Swift played, but he wasn't 100%.
No,
so.
and I had that conversation with someone on Sunday night. They were all bummed out. Like, what is it with the Lions not playing Swift? I'm like, he hasn't been healthy all year. That's why they're not playing Swift. Like, they have no reason to hurt him anymore.
Right.
But it's like, to me, it's pretty simple, but not everybody sees it that way.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Cowboys, Cardinals, big W. They've been kind of back and forth floundering after being so dominant early. Cowboys off that big win, laid down. They didn't lay down, but they let the Cardinals come in and get the W, 25-22. And I said it last week, I'm not sold on this Cowboys team against a good team yet. And they still have not proved it to me like in a dominating fashion. So if I'm a Cowboys fan, I am not confident going into the postseason.
They couldn't run the ball against the Cardinals. Just this unbelievable run defense. And you know what? They gave it up. What happens when you give up the run? You give up the lead. You give up the win. And they still almost came back and won this game. Dak threw 3 touchdowns, but 9 rushes for 16 yards for Zeke. Looked like garbage. Tony Pollard, not much better. They only gave him 3 chances for 9 yards. So, you know, Dak Prescott, your leading rusher, 5 rushes for 20 yards, ain't going to get it done. You know, they didn't have to do a lot on offense. They just had to do enough. And Antoine Wesley with his 2 scores did enough for them. So, you know, Kyler Murray did what he needed to do, but I still, you know, you win this game and it's a big boost for the Cardinals because, you know, they're in the playoffs and everything, but you're not feeling great going in. I'll say that.
Yep. Sunday Night Football, go, Pack, go. As we talked about, Rodgers dominant, Devontae even more dominant. The kind of things I talked about on the last show we did about the stats that these two guys have against the Vikings. Another 30-plus point fantasy performance from Devontae Adams against the Vikings. It was easy. I know Mannion was quarterback, which was bad enough, but it was a cakewalk for the Packers.
Yeah, my favorite part of this game was the Mike Zimmer post-game press conference. Yeah, about Mond. Yeah.
Mond, sorry, yeah.
So, yeah, when he said, do you want to see Mond maybe next week just to see what he has? He said, no. And he said, why is that? He goes, because I see him every day. And that is
said it so quickly, too. No.
I mean, just he had it ready to go.
Yeah.
So that is a dude that doesn't care. He knows he's out on Black Monday. This dude is gone. So we'll be prepping for the national championship, and he's going to be looking for a job. So, or maybe not. Look, you know, the model you showed me from Mike Zimmer, I think I might just
I take the year off.
Yeah.
I take that paycheck for getting fired and just kind of go find a boat somewhere nice and warm instead of the snow. And
take her on out to LA and do some pre and post game stuff for Fox or whatever.
Go ask McVay if he needs a special teams coach.
Right. Yeah. Whatever.
I don't know, whatever he wants to do.
I mean, just go work for Fox or CBS or somebody, you know, but yeah, I mean, this is just a dismantling. Not a lot to say about it.
No.
You know, Minnesota just didn't have anything going. Dalvin Cook, 9 rushes for 13 yards. Is worse than Zeke.
Yeah, it was bad. The biggest thing, I guess, is Packers not locked up the 1 seed, and Dillon and Jones both over 1,000 yards now. So that's big boy stuff, that offense. Monday Night Football, we kind of talked about earlier. Steelers 26-14. They get the job done. It was good.
How about 9 sacks? How about that?
Sack lunch. You'd think they were in Maryland.
Yeah, no, not in Maryland. Nobody died. TJ Watt, 4 sacks. Alex Highsmith, 2. I think he's going to get credit for a half one more. Henry Mondeau I think they're going to split that one up. But I mean, TJ Watt, 21.5. Ben Roethlisberger didn't do much, but he did throw the ball 46 times, 24 completions for 123 yards. It wasn't good, but Najee had, well, he's going to.
I know.
188 and a score. They didn't have to do much. Cleveland, I mean, dude, Mayfield looked like garbage. So I know he threw 2 touchdowns. So at the end of the day, it doesn't look bad, but he was holding on to the ball too long. He was getting wrecked back there. I mean, it was a tough game.
Yeah, it was a rough one, but they survived. They advanced. They have a chance to still find the postseason one way or another. It's good. So we'll see. Let's recap the perfect lineup real quick from the Week 17 main slate on DraftKings. Joe Burrow leads the way, of course. 2nd straight week, folks, and he's getting it done. But I mentioned Devin Singletary, Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny put up over 35 DraftKings points. Jamar Chase almost 59 DraftKings points. But then Braxton Barrios, DK Metcalf. You mentioned Noah Fant earlier, 21.2 points. He was the number 1 fantasy point producer at the tight end position this week in PPR forms. The Amon-Ra St. Brown was the flex target, 38 fantasy points. And the Bears defense talked about those turnovers and sacks, 21 fantasy points. So this is the perfect lineup, not the one that won the Millie. It's got you almost 300 DraftKings points, but it was a big scoring week to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of big individual performances, obviously led by Burrow and Chase. Penny with his huge one, and Amon-Ra St. Brown kind of all led the way here. So, I didn't have any of those dudes on my one team that won my regular season championship. So I had to win it all on my IDP players. So, congrats to everybody that won.
Yeah. 5 of those 9 players scored over 30 DK points. All of them, including the defense, scored over 20 DK points. Yeah. That is nuts. You don't see that every day. But again, if you go to LineStar and become a premium member there, you can get the perfect lineups for all 3 sites that they do at DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. Quick recap of our picks from this past week, Bogman. I had Davis Mills, Joe Burrow, and Tommy Brady. So I think 2 of those worked out pretty well.
Yeah, for me, I have to pull it up here. I wasn't ready. My bad. I had Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson worked. So
and Allen wasn't bad. You had a couple rushing touchdowns for Allen. So not bad there. Running backs, I think I had Mitchell, Damian Harris, and Daryl. Well, I had Monty. I had Mitchell, Monty, and Williams, I believe.
I had JT, Harris, and Javonte. So I did okay.
Yeah, Harris got it early, then got benched because they were winning by so much. But Williams went off again with no CEH. It's pretty wild how CEH can't ball out. Receivers, I had St. Brown, Higgins, and Waddle. So 2 did okay.
I had Lockett, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and AB retired at halftime. So
yes. I had Kelsey, Schultz, and Andrews. They all did pretty decent. Not great, but decent.
Kelsey Knox, who got skunked, didn't do anything, and Cam Brate, who scored another touchdown.
Yes, he did. He got in there. I thought he immediately when we saw that. But let's do a quick look ahead to the Week 18 final full week of action.
And
2
Week
Saturday
18
games.
is weird.
It's very weird.
The last week of the regular season every single year is strange. I was in a betting contest, and I was in 3rd place one year. Week 17 comes up, which is now Week 18 for us. And I went 3 and 13, and I went from $1,800 to my entry fee of $100 back. So that is what you get at the end of the year. But obviously that was 5 or 6 years ago. So, we have gotten better, but there's going to be weird stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll when we do the picks and bets, we'll talk about all the scenarios for the playoff guys and everything like that. Because with the 1 extra team, it'll help a little bit, but there's still going to be a mess of teams that don't care about this at all. Because seedings don't matter for some and everything. It's just a mess. But Saturday, we had 2 Saturday games. Chiefs at the Broncos. Chiefs have locked things up. They might be able to move from like a 2 to a 3 seed or something.
No,
but regardless,
from 2 to 1. If Tennessee loses,
that's right.
They can move up to the 1 seed.
That's right. So Tennessee legit could not care about their game if the Chiefs somehow lose to the Broncos on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would clinch it for them.
Yeah. So thoughts?
Well, I think this is a Chiefs roll. They got to win to stay ahead. I think we might be down to Brett Rippon here for the Broncos, so
Yep.
it's gonna be ugly. So I think this is a Chiefs blowout, and they're 9.5-point road favorites against a division opponent, which is rare.
Yeah, I'm with you because there's our boy Teddy B still in concussion protocol. That must be one heck of a concussion. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, it looked nasty.
Yeah, he's down and out. Cowboys Eagles. Cowboys are kind of doing their thing as well. They're locked in to play the Cardinals as we speak right now, but they get the Eagles. Both teams are in. The Eagles might be able to move up a little bit, but I think it's pretty much set in stone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a divisional game, and the reason this one got put on Saturday in prime time is because people want to watch the Cowboys. So
pretty much,
it's not there's a lot on the line here. There is obviously anytime you play a division opponent on the road, you want to go and win if you're the Cowboys, and you want to defend your home turf if you're the Eagles. So I'd love to see Jalen Hurts win this game, but I don't know. I'd probably end up picking the Cowboys. We'll see.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. Packers-Lions kick off Sunday for us. Packers have nothing to play for as they clinch the 1 seed. Lions should want to lose to just lock up their high drafts pick, but we've seen week in, week out, they're not that team. They are going to fight you, and they will gladly take a walked-on Packers team. So
Rodgers wants to play.
Rodgers wants to, and I know he's going to, but man, as a guy that roots for the Packers, I'd like Rodgers to play like 2 drives. Like make this a week 4 preseason.
Yeah, this is a preseason game. Yeah, 100%. I don't want to play him. Why can't I remember your head coach's name here? LaFleur. If I'm LaFleur, I'm trying to talk him out of it. I mean, I don't know if you can talk.
Hey, Rodgers, you got COVID again. Go.
Right, something, whatever. So
your toe. Think about your toe.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Lions are a scrappy team. They're going to play hard. They're going to play to the whistle, all that stuff. They're biting kneecaps, right? So I don't want to play them in this scenario. I don't want to put my starting quarterback out. So that's why there's no line and no over yet on this game. So we'll see what happens.
For sure. Colts Jags, like we said, the Colts win. They're in. Jags could try to play spoiler, but I think the Jags are just trying to play 60 good minutes, which they have not done pretty much all season.
Dude, the Colts are 15.5-point favorites. They have to win this game.
Yep.
Got to win it. So I don't see them losing to Jacksonville in Jacksonville, but I will be pulling for Jacksonville with all my heart.
Jonathan Taylor rushing for over 200 yards this week.
I'll say he goes under that.
I was half being facetious, but I'm kind of.
What do you think? Like if the prop bettors,
I'll look for it. It's probably out, but I'll look for it.
It's not out. It won't be out until Saturday. But what would you set it at? 115? Because the highest you usually see is like 95 or something like that.
I see 130 college. I know that's different than the pros, obviously, but for this game, I think you're getting closer to 120 to 130.
Okay, so over the century mark. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not going to mess with it. If it's under 120, I'm not going to mess with it.
The prop bet I'm seeing right now, I won't say the site because I don't know if we're allowed to. 115.5.
All right,
I'll take the over.
Yeah, I might go over that too. I mean, that's we'll see. They've been doing weird stuff with the rotations in Jacksonville too. So it's the last game of the year. So you might play a bunch of guys that just to see what they have if you're Jacksonville. So
what if the Colts get up like 3 scores early? You sit JT.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's where it gets dicey.
Yeah.
Because you can get a quick pick 6 from
Come on, Jacksonville. Let's see all that Trevor Lawrence magic. Give me one game, baby. Come on, let's go.
One game. The football team takes on the Giants for a game that no one cares about.
Yeah, there's nothing on the line here. So, I mean, Jake Fromm gets to start. Maybe Saquon will have some more yards, but
the Washington defense, baby.
Yeah.
Bears-Vikings divisional game. Both teams are out of it, but I'll say this much about Nagy. He's been fighting. They've won 3 in a row now. Like this is a game that, and if Cousins
maybe 7-10, that's not bad with a rookie quarterback that didn't play for half a year.
Game. This is the fantasy game because if you get Cousins back, I want this game.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, this is a weird one. I'm assuming Cousins starts, but Zimmer might be so pissed at him that he doesn't start him. This one's weird, but I fully expect the Vikings to win it if Kirk Cousins plays.
I'm with you.
Texans. Bears fans got to want him to go. They want Nagy to lose too, so he can be gone.
Yes.
They don't want him having a good back half of the season. The ownership going, well, he's pretty good, and this is why fans don't, make the decisions and all that stuff. You just want him out. So
100%. Titans Texans, like we said, if the Chiefs lose on Saturday, which we don't think it's going to happen, Titans win. They get the 1 seed. You got this Texans team that's, I think they're running out of gas here. So this looks like a Titans W.
Yeah, the Texans are scrappy and they're at home and they played better at home recently. So, they'll put up a fight. I think I'll take Houston against the spread. I think, this Titans team is one that can look great against Miami and then make you real nervous the next week. So Texans are going to fight them. So I think I'll take them against the spread at home. But if you're Tennessee, you really need to get this win and give Derrick Henry another week to come back.
100%. That bye week would be humongous. No, pretty obvious stuff, but yes.
It's bigger for them than it is for anybody else.
Definitely. Steelers Ravens playoff bid on the line. AFC North battle. This is actually kind of entertaining, but what I saw from Ben on Monday scares the Nikes out of me.
Yeah, I mean, look, Steelers don't look good, and the Ravens are home field. They have home field advantage, and they're 4-point favorites here, which is kind of surprising because the Steelers are playing something and the Ravens are not. But these two teams dislike each other.
Yep.
So
playing spoiler would be a fun thing for the Ravens.
It would be great for the Ravens. So this game, the Colts win and the Steelers are out anyway, so it may not matter. This is probably Ben's last game in his career, but they'll not be scoreboard watching. They'll be trying to beat the Ravens. So hopefully half that defense can come off of COVID protocols and get back for this game. We'll see.
Another AFC North battle here. We got the Bengals and the Browns. Bengals already locked up the AFC North. There's some seeding potentially, but for the most part, I think they're pretty much locked into like the 5th seed, I believe, 4th or 5th. So not a ton, and you don't want to risk injuring any of these guys.
Yeah, they're 3rd right now. They're ahead of the Bills, but behind the Chiefs. I think if the Chiefs drop it, they could move up to 2. I don't think they can get to 1 though. So
no, they can't.
So I mean, Cincinnati will play to win. Obviously, they want a better spot. If they do have to play the Chiefs again, you want it to be in Cincinnati. You just beat them at home, so you have that confidence. So, we'll see what happens. But I think what we saw out of the Bengals offense tonight, or the Browns offense tonight, lets you know the Bengals should smoke them in this game.
It might be a 3rd straight week where the Bengals stack wins you lots of money. NFC West battle here, Niners and the Rams. Niners need a W to still get in. The Rams need to just try to figure out who they are right now because they are failing quickly.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely an interesting game here. I like the Niners though. The Rams they're at home. Stafford looks like garbage right now.
Bad.
I don't know what is wrong with him, but it's not good. So give me the Niners in this game. I think they win it outright.
Niners defense has been waking up, so it can make things really, really interesting.
I don't really care if it's Jimmy G or Trey Lance either. Do you?
I want Trey Lance just because I think Jimmy G probably is the better play right now, but I think Lance is the better play I think he can win you games where Jimmy G can keep you in games.
You could see, Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick situation going on in San Francisco again if Trey Lance looks great here. We'll see.
Easily, most definitely. Panthers Bucks, this game does not matter at all. I guess if the Bucks want like the 2 seed or something, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, the way the Panthers have been playing is
they should be over by halftime.
We said that against the Jets too, but Tampa Bay's at home this time, so I think they were
different game for me too.
Yeah.
Panthers are like the Jets are still fighting. The Panthers are gone.
Yeah.
Seahawks Cardinals, again, Cardinals can, if they win, the Bucks lose, like little scenarios here and there, they could sneak around, but I think it's pretty much Cardinals like a 4 or 5 seed, Cowboys 4 or 5 seed. I think we're pretty much locked into that scenario.
Yeah, they might be locked. Well, I don't know. I think because the Rams and the Niners are playing, that might have something. So they'll be scoreboard watching. So if I think maybe they can leapfrog the Rams. So maybe if the Rams are pounding the Niners or whatever, I don't know. The starters will start. We'll say that.
Yeah, because they just remember how bad things were when there was no Kyler, so they cannot. Well, actually, it wasn't that. Colt was okay. Let me give you credit. Colt was okay. Patriots Dolphins, a game where the Dolphins are out of it. So I hope they lose for any potential better draft pick.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's always nice to beat the Patriots, but the Patriots are already in, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, nothing really matters in this game. I mean, if I'm the Patriots, I might let Mack Jones go at halftime. Damian Harris get a rest. So we'll see what happens with the Pats lineup here, but they are currently favored.
Saints-Falcons, a game that the Saints could potentially still find their way into the playoffs, which is just still insane to me.
They'll win that game going away. The way the defense is playing, Atlanta's got nothing on defense. So I think it'll be lower scoring, but I think this is like a 24-3 game.
Jets at the Bills. The Bills I think they're pretty much locked into the back end of the playoffs with all those other teams above them, but maybe they can make a slight move. But I think they're pretty much like them and the Bengals we talked about. So they'll know, though, because the Bengals game will be over.
Yeah, I mean, just want to see Braxton Barrios and Zach Wilson connection continue, right?
It'd be amazing.
So,
I'll be all over that. Over it.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, just want to see Zach Wilson continue to improve going into next year. And, Bills get ready for the playoffs. They're in, man.
And then Sunday Night Football, AFC West, Chargers-Raiders winner potentially gets in if the winner gets in regardless. I think both could potentially get in if the Colts lose. So this is interesting.
I think the Colts would have to lose and the Steelers would have to lose. So, which might happen, right? So, but I know the Steelers it's all dependent on this game can't tie and that game can't tie and Jacksonville has to beat Indy. So, I mean, stranger things have happened, but not much stranger. So
I feel like I'm Charlie looking at a board with stuff all over the place, trying to figure it out right now.
Someone sent me that today on Instagram, and it said, if you're trying to explain to your friends how your brain works in one scene of a movie or TV show, what would it be? And it was Charlie, going, all right, we got everything over here, all that stuff.
So good. But as you guys can tell, we have a lot of news to keep deciphering throughout the week to get you guys ready for this final week of DFS action, picks and bets, the works, week 18, to wrap up this wonderful season before we get into wild card weekend and all kinds of other fun stuff there. But in order to keep winning, you got to get the LineStar app. It's that simple, folks. So go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, and download the app. Become a premium member. It's like $20, maybe less now this time of year. I haven't even looked lately. Whatever it is, it's cheaper than anywhere else you'll go, and it's worth every penny. So I highly recommend checking that out. Check out the LineStar YouTube channel to watch this funny film and all my beautiful right eye. It just looks phenomenal right now.
Yeah, you kind of rubbed it during the show. I think you could see it get a little worse during this.
It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So it's been fun. But another fun-filled week of football action in the book. Make sure you check out Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I am Matt Bediendrick. We'll be back with you guys later this week with your picks, bets, DFS preview, and much, much more.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar app. Please like, comment, subscribe, and rate for good karma in your fantasy football